A sunny afternoon at a quaint house on a tree-lined street. A young girl with braids sitting on a wooden porch swing, watching leaves flutter on a gentle breeze, warm golden light, cozy suburban atmosphere, soft watercolor style. In a house at the end of Maple Street, where the sun always seemed to find the windows first, lived a girl named Lily. Lily believed that the best magic was the kind you had to wait for. Like the way the wind can whisper a secret just for you, or how a shadow can become a friend when the light is right. Today, as the afternoon grew lazy and warm, Lily sat on her porch swing, watching the leaves shiver in a breeze she couldn't feel. She was waiting for the quiet hour, when the world seemed to hold its breath, and the magic in her yard would wake up. A young girl sitting on a wooden porch swing, holding a golden leaf up to the light, with soft afternoon sunlight filtering through old oak trees, warm and lazy atmosphere, whimsical children's book illustration style. Just as the clock in the hallway began its slow, sleepy chime, a single leaf, golden and crisp, drifted down from the old oak tree and landed softly on Lily's knee. She picked it up, and through its tiny veins, she saw the afternoon light turn into a tiny, shimmering river. "It's almost time," she whispered, and she tucked the leaf into her pocket like a promise. A young girl with a leaf in her pocket stands at an old iron garden gate, peering down a winding path covered in colorful autumn leaves, with a carved stone marker at the edge, soft golden sunset light, whimsical storybook style. Lily tiptoed to the garden gate, where the last rays of sun painted the roses in amber and rose. She pushed it open, and the iron hinges sang a quiet, rusty song. Beyond the gate, the path was not the same as it had been that morning. It was now carpeted with leaves of every color, crimson, bronze, and violet, and the air smelled of cinnamon and wild mint. A small, round stone, smooth as a river pebble, sat at the edge of the path. On it, carved in delicate swirls, was a single word: begin. A young girl kneeling beside a small round stone on a leaf-covered garden path at dusk, crimson, bronze, and violet leaves swirling into an archway overhead, glowing blue mushrooms lining the path ahead, warm amber and rose light fading in the background, whimsical and magical. Lily knelt to touch the stone, and as her fingers brushed its cool surface, the leaves around her feet rustled and lifted into a gentle swirl. They danced upward, catching the last light, and formed a shimmering archway that led deeper into the garden. Beyond the arch, the path curved out of sight, lined with glowing mushrooms that cast a soft, blue light. A whisper, like wind through reeds, seemed to say, "This way, Lily." A young girl in a garden at twilight walking along a curved path, lit by glowing blue mushrooms. Ahead, a small wooden gate covered in green vines and tiny bell-shaped flowers. Soft blue light casts a calm, magical glow. Art style: watercolor children's book illustration. Lily stepped through the archway, her heart thumping like a tiny drum. The blue mushrooms lined the path like tiny lanterns, their glow reflecting in her wide eyes. She could feel the soft earth beneath her shoes, springy and cool. As she walked, the whisper came again, clearer now. "Not much farther, little one." She passed a mossy stone bench where a snail with a pearly shell seemed to watch her. Around the next bend, she saw a small wooden gate, entwined with twisting vines and tiny, bell-shaped flowers that chimed softly in the still air. A magical forest clearing with a tall, ancient tree covered in silver moss, a tiny steaming teapot at its roots, and a glowing note on the ground, soft blue light from mushrooms in the background, child's perspective. Lily pushed the little gate open, and it squeaked a friendly hello. On the other side, the path widened into a cozy clearing. In the center stood the oldest, kindest-looking tree she had ever seen, its bark sparkling with silver moss. At its roots rested a tiny teapot, no bigger than her hand, steam curling from its spout in gentle spirals. Beside it lay a note, written in shimmering ink, that read, "Rest here, brave one. The next clue waits inside." A little girl kneeling on soft moss in a forest clearing, holding a tiny glowing teapot with golden steam rising from it. The oldest tree with silver bark looms behind her, and glowing text curls from inside the teapot. Warm, magical light, storybook illustration style. Lily knelt down, her fingers brushing the warm porcelain of the tiny teapot. She lifted the lid, and a puff of golden steam whispered past her ear. Inside, instead of tea, lay a single acorn that glowed with a faint inner light, and a fresh line of shimmering text curled along the inside of the cup. Plant me where the shadows bend, and your true quest shall ascend. A young girl kneeling on an attic floor, holding a glowing acorn in her palm. Moonlight streams through a window, casting a long, bent shadow from a tilted mirror onto the wooden floorboards. Dust motes float in the light, and the acorn emits a soft, golden glow. Lily held the glowing acorn in her palm, its warmth pulsing like a tiny heartbeat. She looked around the dusty attic. The shadows stretched long from the old rocking chair and the stack of forgotten books. Where the shadows bend, she whispered. A patch of moonlight fell across the floor, bending the shadow of a tilted mirror into a crooked curve. That had to be the place. She knelt and pressed the acorn into a crack between the floorboards, right where the shadow twisted most. A wooden spiral staircase descending into warm golden light, with tiny floating lanterns along curved walls, seen from above as a young girl's footsteps onto the first creaky step. Whimsical and cozy attic basement scene, watercolor style. The floorboards groaned and shifted, splitting open to reveal a spiral staircase descending into a soft golden light. Lily gasped, peering down. Tiny lanterns floated along the walls, casting dancing shadows. At the bottom, a door made of woven roots and twinkling dew stood waiting. She took a deep breath and stepped onto the first creaking step. A child descending a spiral wooden staircase lined with tiny floating lanterns casting golden light. At the bottom, an arched door woven from roots and sparkling with dewdrops, slightly ajar, revealing a soft glow beyond. Warm, whimsical children's book illustration styles. The staircase twisted downward like a gentle coil of ivy. Each step felt warm beneath Lily's feet, and the floating lanterns bobbed closer, as if greeting her. At the bottom, the root and dew door shimmered. A soft voice seemed to hum from it. Only the curious may enter. Lily touched the dewdrops. They were cool and sweet-smelling. The door swung open without a sound. A whimsical library with spiral shelves reaching into mist, colorful books fluttering like birds, a tiny glowing winged creature on a mushroom, and a young girl holding a silver book under warm floating lanterns in a soft watercolor style. On the other side, Lily entered a vast, domed library with shelves that spiraled up into a misty ceiling. Books fluttered like birds, their pages rustling in a breezeless air. A tiny creature, no bigger than a mouse, with wings like stained glass, swooped down and perched on a glowing mushroom. "You're new," it chirped. "Every book here holds a secret that hasn't been told yet. Which one will you choose?" Lily reached out, and a book with a silver cover drifted into her hands. Its title read, The First Whisper of Spring. A vast domed library with spiraling shelves disappearing into mist. A young girl in a blue dress holds a glowing silver book open. From the floor, a luminous green sprout grows upward. A tiny creature with iridescent stained glass wings perches on a glowing mushroom nearby, watching. Soft magical light, ethereal and dreamy. Lily opened the silver book, and a shimmering scent of fresh rain and petals rose from its pages. The first words she read were, "In the silent heart of winter, a single seed dreams of breaking through." As she spoke them aloud, the air around her warmed, and a tiny green sprout unfurled from the library floor, reaching toward the misty ceiling. The stained glass creature fluttered closer. "That's the power of choosing," it whispered. "Every story you read changes the world, if only a little." Lily turned the page, eager to see what the next whisper would bring. A girl stands in a misty library, reading from a glowing silver book on a podium. A tiny green sprout on the floor has bloomed into a luminous flower that rings with soft golden light. A stained glass creature with shifting colors hovers nearby, watching. Warm light fills the scene. On the next page, the words shimmered like silver threads. The sprout stretched toward the sun, and in its shadow a single flower bloomed with a bell-like chime. Lily read aloud. And from the tiny sprout, a glowing bud swelled and burst into a blossom that rang softly, sending ripples of light across the room. The stained glass creature tilted its head, its colors shifting. Each word you speak gives the story a new home, it said, its voice like wind chimes. Lily smiled, feeling the warmth of the flower's song spread through her chest. A young girl with a gentle smile, holding a glowing flower petal in her palm, standing in a dim room lit by stars and light, beside a stained glass creature with swirling multicolored patterns, an open book on a wooden table flickering with tiny stars. Lily reached out and touched the glowing flower. A petal fell into her palm, cool as moonlight. "Where does the story go next?" "Stars," she whispered. The stained glass creature's patterns swirled, and a new page appeared in the book, its edges flickering with tiny stars. "Wherever you want, Lily," it chimed. "You are the teller now." She turned the page, and the world around her began to hum with color, ready to unfold. A young girl with wonder in her eyes stands at the edge of a rainbow river, watching a bridge of glowing fireflies form toward a delicate tower made of moonbeams and silk, surrounded by soft petals and shimmering colors. Lily stepped into the star-flecked world, her shoes sinking into a carpet of soft, whispering petals. Before her stretched a river of liquid rainbow, its currents swirling with laughter and forgotten songs. On the far bank stood a tower woven from moonbeams and spider silk. "I think," she said, smiling, "the story needs a friend to help me cross." At once, a bridge of firefly lights began to weave itself from shore to shore, each tiny beacon pulsing with a patient, waiting glow. A young girl with a curious expression stands on a glowing bridge of fireflies over a rainbow river. She pauses mid-step, watching colorful fish leap through the water. In the background, a delicate tower made of moonbeams and spider silk shimmers under a starry sky. Lily stepped onto the first firefly, and it hummed a note of pure gold. With each step, the others joined in, creating a melody that danced across the rainbow river. Halfway across, she paused to watch a school of shimmering fish leap through the colors, their scales scattering light like tiny prisms. On the far shore, the moonbeam tower seemed to breathe, its silken threads swaying gently. "Thank you," she whispered, and the fireflies flickered in reply, their lights steady as she reached the other side. A shimmering moonbeam tower made of glowing silk threads on a riverbank, a young girl touching the strands that part to reveal a luminous doorway, with fireflies twinkling behind her and rainbow colors reflecting off the water. Lily stood at the base of the moonbeam tower, its threads glowing softly as if woven from starlight. She reached out a hand, and the silken strands parted to reveal a hidden door. Inside, a warm glow spilled out, and she heard a gentle voice. "You've almost made it, Lily. One more step, and all will be clear." Her heart thumped with hope as she stepped through. A cozy, star-filled room inside a moonbeam tower, with Lily hugging a gentle, silver-bearded old man holding a tiny glowing seed, soft, warm light spilling around them, children's book-style watercolor. Lily stepped through the hidden door and found herself in a cozy room filled with floating, glowing stars. At the center stood a gentle old man with a beard made of silver thread. "Welcome, Lily," he said, holding out a tiny, shimmering seed. "This is the heart of wonder you've been seeking. Plant it in your own backyard, and the magic will always be with you." Lily smiled, took the seed, and hugged him. Back at home she planted it, and overnight a moonbeam tree grew, its branches sparkling with new dreams. And every night, she knew the tower was just a wish away.